Assalamu alaikum and a very warm welcome to all of you. Hope you are fine and enjoying these days at home with your loved ones. Dear students, today in this class we are going to discuss tenses. But before going through tenses, it's very important for each and every student to know about the conjugation. What does conjugation of a verb means? Why? Because this topic is very important and is directly related to this topic, tenses. It's not only related to this topic, but you cannot change even the voices and you cannot change the narration of a sentence without having proper knowledge of conjugations. So conjugation is a very important topic in English. That's why I have chosen this subtopic before going through the tenses. So what does conjugation mean? To conjugate a verb, conjugation, or to conjugate. To conjugate a verb means to give four forms of a verb. So dear students, remember what does conjugation stands for? What does conjugation mean? So conjugation, to conjugate a verb, means to give four forms of a verb. Unless you are not aware about the four forms of a verb, you will not be able to change the tense of a sentence. You will not be able to change the tense of a verb, and you will not be able to change its voice, and also you cannot change its narration. So one must know about the conjugation. So conjugation means to give four forms of a verb. Which four forms? I will write down them here. First form is known as present form. Present form, also known as base form. Why it is known as base form? Because all other forms, all the three next forms are formed from this verb. That's why it's known as base. It is the base of the other three verbs, other three forms. That's why it's known as present form. Say for example, work. Now the second one is past form. The first form, present form, and the second is past form. And the past form of works is worked. The third form, past participle form. And the past participle form of the verb which I have taken as an example is worked same. Worked. And the last form, fourth form, is known as present participle form. It's also known as ing form, continuous form, or progressive form, working. So dear students, what does conjugation mean? To conjugate a verb, whenever you are asked to conjugate a verb, it means you have to give the four forms of a verb. Which four forms? Present form, past participle form, present participle form. Now you can see that all these four forms, this conjugation is directly related to the tenses. Now you can see, because whenever you are asked to change the tense, you must know these forms of a verb. If you are not fully aware about these forms of a verb, you will not be able to change the tense of a verb. So look at this example. I have given an example over here. Work, the past form or present form, its past form is worked, and past participle form is also worked and working. Similarly, I will give you some other examples. Say for example, play. Base form or present form, played. Also third form, past participle form, played. And the present participle form or continuous form or progressive form is playing. Similarly, another example is go, went, gone, going. These four forms. To give these four forms of a verb is known as conjugation. Is known to as to conjugate a verb. So on the basis of this conjugation, you can see the difference. Some verbs are regular and some verbs are irregular. Some verbs are regular because they are following some rules, and some are irregular because they do not follow any rules. Just look at this: play, played, played, played. We have added a suffix. You must be aware about the what does suffix stands for, huh? Suffix means a group of letters which we add at the end of a word to change its meaning. So definitely, play base form, we have added a suffix ed, id, and again ed, and in form. So it follows a rule. It follows a rule that we add a suffix at the end of this word, this form. But look at this type of verb now: go, went, gone, going. The first form, base form, is go, and in past form, the go verb, it completely changed into went, and then gone and going. So it's irregular verb because it doesn't follows any rule to change to form. It is another forms, yeah, means base, means present form, past participle form. So these types of verbs are also known as irregular verbs. These are also known as strong verbs and weak verbs. So we will discuss them in next class, inshallah. I will hope that you have understood this topic well. Next class we are going to discuss the irregular verb or irregular verbs, and strong verbs or weak verbs, and we are going to conjugate each and every verb. I think you have understood this topic well.